We are live here at the NEC Subcon 2021, where we'll be revealing an industry first from the Hoffman Group. Now, I'm with Gio, and Gio's going to tell us who are the Hoffman Group?
They are a billion-dollar organisation with over 100 years experience within our industry globally, and we're going to look at their extensive portfolio of products, solutions and services and see how they consolidate all three to give their clients maximum efficiency and productivity gains.
Now, if you know Gio and you watch our channels, you know sometimes he finds it hard to pronounce his H's, but that's why I'm here today, to help him out. Now, we're obviously streaming live now on LinkedIn, Facebook and YouTube, and throughout the course of the next 40 minutes, we've got so much to show you, and we're going to make our way to the Hoffman stand. Now, of course, as with all of our live feeds, if you want a shout out during the next 40 minutes or so, you can do that by commenting on any of the social media channels that you're watching this on. That could be, as I said, LinkedIn, YouTube or Facebook. Tell us your company name, tell us who you are, tell us what you're making, maybe. Now, Gio, isn't it great to be back at an event?
Paul, it's absolutely amazing to be back at the NEC. The last time I was at the NEC was probably the last Mac. You know,
you haven't
long
aged.
Time ago.
I was watching that video the other day. You haven't aged.
I don't know.
Well, the last one for me was actually in Poland at the end of September last year. I went to Toolex, but the year seems to have still gone incredibly quick.
We've been busy.
We have been. It's been great to be back at a show. Now, of course, we're doing a lot of these live streams these days. It is a great way to engage our audience and show new technologies, which is exactly what we're going to do today on the Hoffman stand. But before we do that, we're actually going to talk to a couple of the exhibitors here. First of which is a man that we know quite well. Sean, tell us a little bit about Oracle Precision.
Oh, welcome anyway, again. Well, as you know, Oracle Precision, we've just celebrated our 10th birthday. We've invested heavily in lights out manufacturing machines to get 24/7 productivity that really to remain competitive.
So what do you make? Tell us what you make, because you always say the same, don't you?
I do. We make shapes, and the customer's application is their business. We make shapes for the aerospace, medical and safety critical industry. So.
And you just got a brand new Matsura, which has just landed at your place?
It has. It's 4 weeks old, 5 weeks old. And
so you must be doing something right.
Well, I think when it's running on a Saturday afternoon and we go home, that's the future.
You're making shapes on the dance floor then, aren't you? Before we move on, you want to just shout out to your colleagues next door. Just tell us what they do.
You need to see the guys next door. They've got us out of the woods on numerous occasions. They're ISO consultants called Clear Quality, and can't speak highly enough of them. So.
Okay, so if you want to see Sean or his colleagues, you can come to obviously Subcon this week, which is at the NEC. Now, as I said earlier, we've got lots of comments, and we encourage you to comment throughout. We've had one come in actually. Ian Mustard from Milturn says, "Gio, you're looking smart today."
Thank you, Ian. Thank you.
That's a good start.
What about Paul? We've got another Ian here, actually. Ian, how are you doing?
Hello, Gino. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Did you call him Gino?
Sorry.
He did.
Well, that's what Colin said he was called.
Ian, we realised or seen that you've broken a world record, but what is that world record for?
Basically, I was offered to do it for a charity for young kids and so on. Inadvertently, it became a world record. We found out it was the biggest in the world. Wow. So we applied to Guinness Book Records.
And you've just installed more machinery, more Doosan machinery at your place, I believe?
More Doosan machinery. We've got 6 down. Just had a mill turn fitted 2 days ago, and another CNC mill 2 weeks ago.
Okay, now it's not just as the name states here, is it oil tools? You do a lot more than that.
Yeah, we're a subcontract manufacturer, fabrication, take the project from concept to finish. We can do the design work, plating, grinding, whatever the customer needs.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you very much. Enjoy the
one
rest
last question,
of the show.
Ian. You've got perfect location opposite the Hoffman Group stand. Are you using their products?
Currently no, but I've been talking to them this morning and they're looking at a decent offer. I'm quite happy to introduce them to ourselves. Looks very good.
You've got a great view of the live event. Thanks, Ian.
Now, Gio can never stop selling. Watch that stand there. He almost knocked your stand down, didn't he? Hey? So we are here on the Hoffman Group stand, and of course what we're talking about today is a tremendous solution that the company is offering. Now, I'm with Tim Patterson here. Tim, before we sort of talk technical, which we're going to do throughout the show, I'm going to ask you a little bit about the Hoffman Group. But before I do that, I just want to give a couple of shout-outs. We've actually got a shout-out from... hang on. I'm going to have to come back to those because something's jumped on top of my iPad, would you believe? So, yeah, Tim, tell us a little bit about the Hoffman Group for those that don't know.
Okay, so Hoffman are a global manufacturer and distributor of industrial equipment, tooling and consumables. We're predominantly based in Europe, but we do have a global presence, and we're really focused on how we can make our customers more successful. So it's not just about the products, it's about the application and how they can be used to drive success and productivity.
Okay, and what is this new solution that you are launching here today at Subcon? Explain for our audience.
Okay, so we call it Guaranteed Savings Plan. I guess it's not revolutionary in the fact that, you know, savings and documenting those is not something new to the industry. But I think the difference is that generally those kind of opportunities are limited to large contracts, which maybe have huge amounts of revenue attached to that. We really want to support manufacturing in the UK, and a lot of that is through much smaller businesses, SMEs, subcontractors like we have today, and we believe that the opportunity to drive productivity, to help their businesses be more successful, should be open to everybody. So this new plan basically has access to anybody that can spend £30,000 or more with Hoffman during a 12-month period, and we'll target 20% savings of that and underwrite 10%.
Tim, you know, you've got a large product portfolio. How do you actually make these savings? You know, you've got the product experts. It's not just about the products. You've got the services. Is it the consolidation between all three?
Yeah, I guess it's bringing all of that value proposition together. As I said before, you know, the products are important, but it's the application of those products. So we invest heavily in technical experts that know how they can be used best in different applications and to help our clients find that within their processes. And I think later on you're going to talk to, you know, somebody about our whole system partner approach, and all those different elements brought together, I guess, is what really drives the value of this proposition.
Okay, so we've got so much coming up in today's show. Just a shout out to Angela Hatfield, says she's excited to be here. Daniel Rushton, as well, a shout out to him. Gavin from Peregrine listens to our podcast. Geo does a lot of those, so he must like listening to you, Geo. Tim, we are going to get into some depth with some products with Joe and Simon shortly. But tell me a little bit about what Geo's got behind him then here with this vending solution.
So yeah, this is one of our vending solutions. We have a whole range. We actually have 3 different ranges of product. This is the premium product. Ultimately, part of, you know, a manufacturing or production process is having inventory in the right place, managing that inventory and making sure that you know what you've got and it's available for production. This is one of the solutions that we can use to help our clients know what they've got, where they've got it, how much they've got, and make sure they can simplify that procurement process.
And how much does of a difference can that make? Because I'm going back to my days in the factory, and I know I just used to have drawers with random things in, and yeah, you could spend minutes, you know, hours looking for product, couldn't you? So over the course of a week or a month, that can be big savings.
Absolutely. I would probably frame it slightly differently if you want to look at potentially what those savings could be. They come from different areas. You're absolutely correct. It could be searching for product. It could be walk and wait time, not having to go to the stores. But also it's about control of usage and understanding what consumption you've got. Typically, we would see around about a 30% reduction in consumption of consumable products, tooling, etc. through one of these solutions. So that, you know, is proportionate to the amount of spend, but that's typically what we'd see.
Big savings, Tim. Big statement. You know, is the product portfolio and the product experts, you know, really to kind of looking at these products? Is that really what that gives you them savings?
Well, you know, going back to what we talked about before, you know, we have a huge range of products, as do many other businesses, you know, and it's really about how we bring those products to the end user and to that application, whether it be through how it's issued, simplifying procurement, whether it's be improving productivity by the application which those products are used. All of that together, we believe, can help our clients be more successful, and that's our mission within the UK.
Okay, now we've got a lot of good features coming up over the course of the next half an hour or so. We're going to hear from BDL Tool Die, Recall, and also Merck Aerospace, who've made a whopping saving of £40,000 thanks to Hoffman product. We're going to go to that in a second. Just before we do, Lindsay Miller says, hi, excited to be here. John Fossey from Micron Engineering wants a shout out and is enjoying the stream. Coming up after this piece from Merck Aerospace, we will be joined by Joe and Simon, who are going to talk technically about some of Hoffman's products. But in the meantime, let's hear from the guys at Merck.
MTD CNC have travelled to Merck Aerospace in Barrowford, and I'm joined by Paul. Now, Paul, we've got an interesting case study here using one of your Garant drills. But firstly, can you just explain the application?
So the application was a component made from material called Haynes 230, which is a nickel-based alloy. Quite a difficult to machine material with regard to tool life. And they use two different size drills, which are 12 times D through coolant solid carbide drills. Prior to Hoffman being involved in the component, the tool life benchmark was 20 parts per component at best. Quite a slow surface speed and feed rate. So we had the opportunity to improve that, and we put our drills on, which is a 12 times D master steel feed drill, which is a 3-flute drill. It has fantastic tool life capability. We were able to increase the feed rate by 1/3, and also we increased the tool life from 20 parts per component up to 160 parts.
Wow, so 20 to 160 parts and a third increase in speed. Now, what kind of savings have they achieved from this on this one particular application?
Just over £40,000 a year. That's based on 2,000 parts a year. And that was basically two drills. They increased the tool life hugely, and a reamer also that followed these drills. And that created a huge saving.
Now, you know, it's not just the tools, is it? It's the expertise of the Hoffman personnel to work in collaboration with the end users. So, you know, how did this project come about? And were there any teething problems to start with?
It came about from the success we'd had on with the same drills on the Matsura milling machines. We had some fantastic results on those. I took it upon myself really to try these drills on Haynes 230. As far as I'm aware, Hoffman haven't tested this drill on these types of materials before, so it was a complete punt, and it worked out brilliantly for us, and the customer of course has realised these huge savings.
Now, can you tell us a little bit more about the Garant tooling range that you offer?
Sure, I mean, this master steel feed drill has a diameter range from 4mm up to 20mm, with lots of incremental steps in between, including imperial sizes, in length ranges from 4, 6, 8, 10 and 12 times diameter length.
Now, it's not the only aspect and products that you've been helping Merck Aerospace with. You're also helping them with the implementation of 5S and also the vending solutions. Can you just give me a brief overview on these other products and services that you're supplying?
Sure, I mean the 5S, it's great to be involved in a company like Merck with, you know, had a real drive and ambition to improve productivity and flow throughout the whole of the factory. Our product just fit hand in glove really. It's a good quality product. We came and we spec'd it up, we did CAD drawings so they could visualise the actual space of, you know, the working space and the environment that the products were going to go into. We then came in and built the products, and it's now working with design foam inserts, which also help with regard to organising yourselves, and that has streamlined the whole process for Merck, and really the working environment is a much healthier environment as a result of going down this route.
Now, I was talking with Richard, the commercial director, about this, and there's been even more financial gains from this. Now, if you're looking to achieve some massive savings and improving in your productivity and efficiency, contact Hoffman.
So yeah, Simon, Merck Aerospace, £40,000 saving on just one job. Just goes to show, doesn't it, the correct applications, the correct tooling, and the savings aren't easy, but easily achievable.
Yeah, with the range of tools we have, obviously we went and assessed the job, ensured we got the right set of tools, proved them out, and gave the customer a really good cost saving.
I want to jump straight into your tools because we don't have a great deal of time. So let's just start here. You've got a lot of solid carbide, haven't you? So if we just run through some of them, maybe we start with this first one.
Yeah, so we have, all colour coded, so you know what materials to use them on. Good 3-flute tool there, general purpose machining, right the way through to Inconels, and then blue banders for stainless steels and such things.
Yeah, I like this one. That's long reach. I'm presuming that's high feed for maybe some of the more tricky materials, harder materials.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, red bander for us. So good hard coating on it for like you say, long reach, high feed milling applications.
Yeah, and as we work down some of these, did I see a chip splitter somewhere?
Yeah,
one of them.
Yeah, there is chip splitters for TPC machining as well.
Yeah, so for the people that don't know what that means, just explain what chip splitters do.
Yeah, so they just break the swarf up into a smaller, manageable amount, so you can get them away from the job, and you're not going to run the risk of snapping your tools.
Yeah, so what we're looking to do, aren't we? We're looking to engage that full length of flute, aren't we?
Yeah, try and get as much of that as you can.
Peel milling, trochoidal milling, and obviously going into a corner, you can get wrap around the tool, and ultimately, either failure or tool wear. So much thinner chips, obviously.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Yeah, small engagement, full depth of the tool.
Sure, and you've also got a large indexable offering. Obviously, let's start with this one, high feed cutter.
Yeah, high feed cutters. We've got a couple of options available for high feed cutting. Just depends on the application, really. So some for more linear, some more ramping, right through to 90-degree tangentially mounted inserts as well.
And when people think of Hoffman, if you've never come across Hoffman before, you've got the full portfolio, haven't you? We're looking at solids. Obviously, we just talked about some of the indexable. It's only a few of what you offer, but you've also got turning as well. Yeah,
full range of all, really everything you need for your machine, inside and out. We can supply you. Like I say, drills, taps, end mills, everything.
Yeah, speaking of drills, I think one of these is one of the ones that did the saving at Merck, isn't it? But that's if you just run through some of the drills. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think the 3-fluted was one of the ones. Feed, the high feed, really good tool for us. Really good quick speeds. It's in common sense, isn't it? Predominantly, I'm guessing 90% of the market, maybe even more, using a 2-flute drill, aren't they? So why aren't more people looking to adopt higher feeds? But you're getting third extra for nothing, almost, aren't you? It is quite a technical tool, so I think some people are probably a bit shy from using that new technology. So obviously we will come in as technical support, and we would support that product right the way through the whole process for the customer. Yeah, it's not just as easy as drilling a hole quite often, is it? Application can be quite key to it as well. But yeah, we would support that all the way through. Mm-hmm. And if we come here, one of my favourites, a barrel tool, conical barrel tool, call it what you want. It's circle segment. Barrel milling. It's not really new. It's been around for quite a few years, but there's never really been the software. There is now software that can actually run these tools properly. We do need that software to make the tools work effectively, but yeah, that's a new one for us. So we're looking predominantly 5 axes simultaneous, aren't we? So instead of going across to the ball nose 0.2, 0.3 here, we can be stepping down at 4, 5, 6, 8 mil, can't we? Yeah, they have like an 800mm rad on them, so covering a real nice wide depth of cut. Mm-hmm. So Hoffman, you're very well known for cutting tools. Equally, you are work holding. So let's take a quick look at some of the work holding solutions. So we have rails. Various different widths, lengths that could be used for holding irregular components and larger components. We also have the smaller vices, the X-Stric. This is the X-Stric 80, which is, same thing again, has very universal, can have pull studs attached, so you can use it on the 0 clamp. Yes. So when we're looking at that, is that predominantly for a 5-axis machine, or could we have it on a trunnion or even a horizontal? All of the above, really. You can use it there. It is. Because of the access to it, you'd say 5-axis, but equally we've got people holding these in serial, holding multiple parts on one bed to give them, full access to the whole component. Sure, and these vices now, we like to get them on and off the machine as quickly as possible, but more importantly, as repeatable as we can. Yeah. So that's what this is for. Yeah, that's right. So the 0 clamp is suitable for all of these range. You simply attach the pull stud,
and with an airline at quite a low pressure, it unclamps and clamps the part.
So how are we in terms of repeatability?
That repeats within O2, thou, in old days.
Thou.
Yeah.
Crikey, a thou.
Yeah. And that would give you that repeatability.
Okay, so we're looking at, we looked at, and this isn't all your tooling, is it? You've got a lot more, but
No.
look at your cutting tools. We're looking at work holding. I know the guys have touched on vending, but it would be remiss of us not to mention vending, because yes, you can sell somebody an end mill, but it's true to say, Hoffman, you like to grow with a customer. You like to get in with the storage, some of the 5S technology, and the vending as well. So just talk about the vending briefly.
Yeah, I mean, the vendors lend themselves really to this kind of, because it's normally a high turnover product, so that save customers from having to do regular purchasing. All these products will fit in the vendor, right from the small stuff to the really big stuff. And whatever you want to go in the vendor will go in there and reduce your purchasing costs.
When you say what you can put anything in there, we're not just talking cutting tools. I know you start getting involved in PPE. In fact, it's on the screen there. PPE, some metrology solutions, and also again the crossover of 5S with your drawer systems. Yeah. It doesn't just look pretty. It has actually got a function, hasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. So the vendor really, I mean, even stuff that doesn't fit in the vend can go in the vend. So people can control their oil stores by access to a key through the vend, or like you say, your tooling, your PPE. It can all go through the vend and control that for you.
And one of the big advantages is the reporting, isn't it? You can pull off a report saying I'm using 1,000 CNMGs a month. That'd be nice for you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
And maybe I need to look at that job. Why am I using 1,000? Maybe I'm using the wrong grade. Can I look at it? Let's get Hoffman back in.
Yeah, quite a lot of people. You can use cost centres as well, so you can attribute costs to individual machines or a cell or a job even. And so, like you say, they can get a breakdown of the costs involved.
Yeah, because when you've got vending machines, sometimes you might, like some of these are general purpose tools, but you might be better off having, a tool for steel, a tool for stainless steel, if I can say it, and one for Inconel.
Yes.
Rather than having a general purpose.
Definitely.
These reports tell you that, don't they?
Yes, they do, yes.
And in terms of the adoption of vending machines, what's that looking like now? There was a time people stayed away from it because they thought they were expensive, but really it's the opposite. As soon as they go in, you hear some numbers up to a 30% saving just purely by putting one in the corner of the shop.
Yeah, it sort of replaces your storeman, really, off the shop floor. So it's effectively replacing that. So if you're regularly ordering tools, it'll take that away, and you can, like I say, set your limits and your maxes, mins, max to whatever you need.
And just before we wrap up, I always like to ask this one. You must have some favourites. Which are your favourites?
So we have quite a lot. Well, right. So we have a lot of range products in stainless steel machining and the generic. So the 20, 30, 54s, which are an end mill that we have that all the engineers like selling because it's one of those go-to products that sells really well for us.
Well, thank you, Simon. Now we're going to go to one of the first adopters of the GSP plant. It's a company called Recall. I know you know them really well. Yeah. So let's take a look at the video. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. All right.
Recall, one of the first companies in the UK to adopt the industry-first Hoffman guaranteed saving plan. Why is this so special?
For us, it's a guaranteed no-brainer. When we were approached with the idea of the GSP guaranteed savings plan, I was a bit cautious. I thought, this seems too good to be true. Having read into it a little bit more, we signed up to it straight away. Essentially, for example, if we spent £30,000 a year on tooling, for example, that's what we mainly look at, they'll underwrite a 10% of that. So they're guaranteeing us a 10% saving, and if they don't get that saving, they'll guarantee it for us.
So we'll move on to the saving during this interview, but how are they achieving this saving then so far? What kind of products are they using to get this saving for you?
So for us, we've started on our CNC side, so our lathes and the mills. Now, we started off with trials. We've been we've been using an application engineer which is very, very knowledgeable, which has been enabled our guys to get on board with the trials we've been doing. So we've currently changed over to a few of our products over to the Garant range so far. So that's end mills, whether that's carbide or aluminium cutting, and now we're currently moving on to our carbide inserts.
So in comparison to the previous cutting tools that you were using, what results are you seeing?
So with regards to longevity, we've seen very similar results to what we've got now, if not better. With regards to costing wise, we've seen a drastic reduction in cost. So on their 10% they're guaranteeing, we're seeing a lot more than 10% saving across the tooling that we're looking at.
So already you're saving above 10%?
Yes.
And what other products will you be looking to move into?
So, as I mentioned, we're going to look at moving into the inserts for the lathes, and then we're going to have a look at the measurement equipment, and then sort of work from there. So we're going to look at this site first, and then have a look at the other site.
Hoffman Group offer a large portfolio of products such as work holding and vending solutions. Are these considerations as well for the future?
Yeah, on the GSP program, when we signed up to it, we were offered a free vending solution. Now, at the time, we didn't sign up and take it because I've never heard of Hoffman Group, and we didn't want to get a bit of vending equipment in if the tooling was, say, not up to the current tooling we're using. Confidently now, I can say, yes, it's something we would have a look at. So, I mean, for us, we've seen Hoffman as a supplier we've never heard of, someone we want a strategic relationship with.
With that, I'm here with Paula and Chris, and we're going to be talking once again about the solutions and the opportunities. Another point for me to say, if you do have questions that you want to direct at Hoffman, then you can do it across all the social channels. I'm led to believe that we have a slight hiccup on LinkedIn at the moment, but that is directing to YouTube. So we are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. We have had a comment in from Robin Chisnell from Shropshire Precision, who's asked, why is Joe limping? Now, there is a good reason for that. He's got another bout of gout, I'm told. So, Robin, that is the reason. You ever had gout, Chris?
I thought for the rich and famous gout, actually, so no.
Oh, well, I'll hand over to Gio, because he's rich and famous. Gio, have you had it?
Never had it, and hopefully I never will. Great testimonial video from Recall, that was, Paula. He was singing your praises all day. You actually sold GSP into Recall. Can you tell our audience, this is one of the first adopters of GSP, how's it going there?
Yeah, really well actually, Gio. So yeah, leading up to the official launch this week, we started looking at the tooling side at Recall. And it was looking at what their incumbent was actually doing for them and what we could do. The first part of that was an acquisition saving. So when we launched the GSP, we've already saved them a 10% on acquisition cost. So the future state is now to look at how we can then look at reduction in labour costs and, production efficiency improvement.
And how are the next savings going to be achieved?
So we've got the support of our application engineer, Lee. So Lee will go on site and work together with their team of the CNC operators, and we'll look at process improvement by taking some of those elements out of their, machining cycles. So Lee will actually produce time studies, and we will then present that as part of the GSP programme on the efficiency savings.
And I know he's looking to introduce the vending solutions to one of his next steps. So, yeah, it's a great case study. Brilliant.
Chris, Tim mentioned at the start of the show about the £30,000 level of investment. Is that a lot for a company to be investing when it comes to the type of products that you're talking here? Is that a ceiling beyond some?
I don't think so, to be honest with you, because we're in an environment today where we've seen reduction of suppliers into customers, and therefore they are having to create more of a spend base. And so for the GSP programme to work, that starting point of £30,000 really has to be where we kick off from, because it has to be beneficial for us both.
And I can see by looking behind you, I mean, again, it's always you do a tremendous presentation here at Hoffman, but what Joe talked about products, it goes well beyond that as well, doesn't it? Here we've got metrology, cutting and grinding, hand tools, power tools, so quite easy to get to that value, I would imagine, when you encompass all of these products.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think one of our kind of strengths really is that consolidation process. So if today a customer is using a number of suppliers for a number of products, that consolidation piece is actually what gets us along that whole kind of track of looking at how is it that how can we support you in that kind of process of consolidation of suppliers. So our product range enabled us to do that.
Yeah, is there ever a company you go in and you go, do you know what, we're not going to be able to make this work here because they're doing everything in accordance with how we would do it, the same?
I personally have never had that experience. I guess what we have to do is be very, I won't say selective, but we have to be able to work with people who have the ability to be able to spend that level of turnover with us, and actually use the product ranges that are relevant to the types of product we can supply. So I've never had that. Obviously we have to work within the industry sectors that have that level of interaction with this type of product range. But no, there's always something, even if it's down to janitorial product, there's always something that we can add value to.
Okay, now if you have got any questions for Hoffman, of course, you can put them in the comments box wherever you're watching this now, and also after the show, because of course this will still be as a video on YouTube and on Facebook too. Have you got specialists then in each of these areas? Because I must imagine even with the most intelligent of person, it'd be quite some feat to be able to handle all of these products, wouldn't it?
So at the moment we have PPE specialists and we have what we call our applications engineer specialist team. We're now working around the support on hand tools, and as we start to grow our business and we start to see a need for more specialists, we'll actually start to introduce those. But today, if I'm very honest with you, we have a team of PPE specialists and we have a team of applications engineers.
And application engineers are the key. Just before, Gio, I know you've got a question for Paula. Kazra has actually been in contact with us and says he thinks I look smart as well. So there you go, Gio. You've been trumped on that one.
Paula, moving on from that comment. Paula, you're out on the road and you're selling GSP. How is it being perceived so far? I know this is the official launch, but you've been trialling it prior to this event.
Yeah, it's been taken really well. Again, it's the fact that we're underwriting and we're putting our money where our mouth is to actually save our customers that minimum of 10%. And actually, there's that in the air, why wouldn't you? There's no risk to the customer. So, again, it's that question to customers, why wouldn't you?
It sounds too good to be true.
Absolutely, and it is, but it is true. And that's, again, why we can put our money where our mouth is and actually, save the customers that minimum of 10%. We don't just stop at 10%. We still look at targeting, more of a percentage. However, it's the underwriting.
Do you think you'll ever see a time where it's sort of 30, 40? Are you going in some places and going, do you know what? We can really make massive inroads and massive improvements here.
Yeah, absolutely. And that comes from when we look at our vending solutions. Actually, if you haven't got a vending solution already, the industry standard is a minimum of 20 to 25% savings just by implementation of a vendor.
Unbelievable. Now we're going to look at another example that you've sold at BDL Tool Die. Over 60 spindles. I spoke to the director last week. Can you tell our audience about this account and how you've implemented it into yet another company before it's even launched?
Yeah, for sure. BDL are actually an existing customer of Hoffman, and historically, as Chris mentioned, it was more in the engineering, the cutting tools, but looking at the other indirect consumables is where we can really get some traction on that saving. It goes back to Chris's point about the consolidation of that supply chain, which improves their efficiency as well.
Paula, it's been a pleasure. Thanks, Chris. So let's go over to BDL Tool Die to have a look at another testimonial. BDL Tool Die is spending approximately £100,000 a year on cutting tools alone, and you have over 60 machine tools. Why have you signed up to this guaranteed savings plan from Hoffman?
Well, to be honest, it was kind of a no-brainer. We were approached by our rep with Hoffman, and it was explained to us, and basically we get 10% back on everything we spend. So our monthly spend is really high. Anything we can do to reduce it, which benefits us at the moment, we've got to do it, how the business is going at the moment, everyone's cutting costs, and that's enabling us to cut the costs, and it's a fantastic offer from them.
So they're guaranteeing this 10% saving. So on your £100,000, you're expecting to see a £10,000 saving. How is this being achieved?
Well, we've always been a big fan of Hoffman tools. We get all of our tips and end mills from them anyway. So for us to be offered this in the first place is only a great thing for us, because we save money on what we have to spend.
And from a cutting tool perspective, how is it saving the money? How are the cutting tools saving the money?
Well, we've actually had a meeting with our rep and the tooling rep. They came in, discussed what we buy from other people, and had a look at the different tools that we could have, and we've taken them up on the offer. We've used some of the new tooling, and it's been beneficial for us with the runtime, the feeds, the speeds. So we're getting longer life out of our tools as well. So not only are we getting 10% back, we're also getting longer lasting tools from Hoffman.
So that's a big aspect. And are you seeing these savings instantaneously?
Yeah, they're coming straight away. So as soon as we're placing the order, we're getting the savings back.
And are the cutting tools the only products that you're using from Hoffman Group?
We are using other bits and pieces from Hoffman. This year we've gone into PPE with them, with the gloves. Everyone's using the disposable gloves, so we're getting those through Hoffman. All different bits and pieces. I mean, to be fair, we pretty much get most of our consumables from them as well, because everyone's seen the brochures, the magazines. What they don't sell, you don't need really.
And going back to cutting tools briefly, how important is the technical support from the technical experts at Hoffman to achieve the savings that you are achieving?
Well, it's amazing what they offer, because I'm not engineering background. I've come into the job of purchasing, and the support that I've got from my rep, from the tooling team there, I can phone up and ask any question or drop them an email, and they'll come back with some ideas and different tools that they suggest that we can use.
So we're back with Tim Patterson here now. We've had a comment in, as I say, we've got about 5 minutes left of the stream, so do get your questions in or your shout-outs. We have had John, we don't have a surname, but he said he would love to hear Gio say Hoffman offer. There's a bit of a running theme through today's show. I'm sure he will satisfy your request by the end. We've also had Nick Furno from Ferocity wants a shout-out, immediate capacity at his company for milling. Tim, industries that you are most successful in, just so we can get a handle on the sort of target audience that what you do works best for.
So I guess we work across many sectors, but the sweet spot for us would be some kind of production manufacturing company that has metal removal included in the process. However, we're definitely not restricted to that. But we have a lot of expertise in manufacturing, as we've probably seen earlier, so that would definitely be an area that we could focus on and be successful in.
And do you think with what's happened in the last 18 months, people's opinions of the types of sort of, automation that we see in the field, also that one solution provider, are going to become more needed, required, wanted, whatever the word may be? So it would be good for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it's almost been a reset, hasn't it, for us, because I think we've had to refocus on how we can be more efficient and productive because of the many demands post-COVID and the global situation. That really is something that we believe we can help with, so definitely can be a benefit to us and our clients, and that's the ultimate benefit here.
Tim, the stand seems to be getting busy. Tim, how do you believe it's going to help, UK manufacturing industry in general?
Well, if we take the concept in itself, we're basically saying we're underwriting 10% of savings, targeting 20% of whatever spend those clients do with us. That's all investment back into the bottom line from British manufacturing and industry. So that's got to help with success, whatever the size of the business. So for me, they're not insignificant figures that clients can use to help their businesses be more successful in the future.
So you're effectively incentivising investment.
Absolutely, and that's the target for us. And to drive productivity, that's really what we want to achieve.
What I've learned about your company, Tim, over recent years is the volume of product that you offer in amongst your portfolio. Yeah. Begs the question, though, is there any areas that this solution doesn't cover? Is there anything that you can't bring into it? It's a question that we've actually had come in.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to try and answer it pretty quickly. So if you look at our product range, so we cover, we have 90,000 catalogued products, plus obviously additional ones we can source, that covers machining, clamping and work holding. hand tools, workshop equipment, metrology, workstations and storage, and PPE and safety products. If it falls within those, then we can help.
Good answer. So basically, not much.
Not a lot.
Paula mentioned, you've effectively put your money where your mouth is. You're backing yourselves, but it sounds still too good to be true, is it?
It is what it says on the tin. So we are very confident that we can deliver those savings. We have a process of documenting the projects, detailing the savings. We sign that off between ourselves and the client. All we ask is for access to opportunities. It's a no-risk agreement. At the end of the day, why wouldn't somebody take advantage of it? Because the worst-case scenario is there's a cheque at the end of the year. But we believe productivity is the bigger goal here. So we are very confident we can deliver on that.
Okay, and before we go to wrap this up, of course, you can contact Hoffman after this event. This video will be as a proper video on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch it any time. We've also had a few more comments come in. Dave Richardson asks again, are there any limitations to GSP? But I think we've covered that. What sectors does Hoffman work with? Again, I think we've pretty much covered that. So all that leaves me to say is certainly has been a great stream and a great opportunity to promote what is a new solution. So how are we going to end it, Gio? So you saying Hoffman offer?
Yeah, I will do that. Well, Hoffman offer? There you go. But no, we're going to end it now by looking at the Hoffman Group's system partner approach. And Lindsay visited you recently and she created an absolutely fantastic video, in my opinion. So I think it's a fantastic way to end. Tim, it's been a pleasure and a privilege as always. Thank you very much for letting the MTD team be on your stand today.
Thanks very much, Gio. Thanks, everyone. We appreciate it too.
Thank you.
Today we've travelled to Hoffman Group UK and we're going to find out about what it means to be a system partner.
So here at Hoffman, system partner means working with our customers as a partner to help them be more successful through improving productivity and also simplifying procurement. So while we're absolutely committed to always remain competitive, it's not just focusing on the price of product, but rather focusing on the whole process from procurement right through to application in order to help our customers be more profitable.
Inventory control is all about organisation and saving time through being organised. There's less time finding tools or looking around the shop floor for what you need, less time spent ordering because everything's organised. So in general there's a lot of hidden costs through not having good inventory control.
We've now found out about the benefits of inventory control, but fixing your prices for 12 months, what does that mean for you?
So fixed pricing is a transparent pricing model that helps our customers not only avoid costly price increases over the year, but also helps them divert that effort, usually used in managing pricing, to more important areas of the business.
In the UK, we're adding more services on the cutting tool side at the moment. We can also design special tools, and so regardless of the project complexity, we've got CAD/CAM locally now rather than the head office, so we can tackle a whole project locally with the customer in the UK.
We've learnt so much so far, and we hope that you can see that there's a real synergy between all the products and services that Hoffman have to offer.
So we offer the customers a wide range of solutions in terms of kits and projects. We have a multi-task team here in the office that will project manage it through from inception. So we work with the customer to understand what their needs are. When we understand the needs, we design that free of charge consultancy service with 3D graphics. If it gets to the acceptance stage, we'll then deliver a turnkey package.
Our e-business solutions integrate into all aspects of the customer's business, and this enables the customer to reduce process costs, speed up procurement time. It makes the ordering process much more flexible. It gives much greater control over orders, and ultimately this aids cost reduction, increases productivity and drives efficiencies through the business.
As a business, we've got a wide range of technical support services that we offer to our customers. We'll go in and from an engineering perspective, we can work with them on their work holding and their cutting needs. We can marry those two things together to deliver them the savings or the optimisation requirements that they need to make their business successful.
All of this is backed up by specialist training support, and education and training is key.
Products evolve, new products launch, and importantly legislation changes, so it's of paramount importance that you are fully up to speed with everything. As part of working in partnership with Hoffman Group, we work with you in a way that suits you. So that could be a classroom seminar style, it could be in person or it could be virtual, it could be a webinar, it could even be an on-site toolbox talk.
So as you can see, we've designed our system partner concept to help our customers be more successful through increasing productivity and simplifying procurement. We've got 100 years of experience in doing just that. We have world-class service and product availability, and we have market-leading technical support. And we're here to help.